Do you want to get started with investing in cryptocurrencies in 2019? If you do, that's wonderful because you've come to the right place. I'm going to explain how to do that in the most simple, concise manner possible so that you can get started as soon as possible, right? And so, first things first, let's say we want to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. That might be the first thing that's on your mind. Typically, this will be kind of location dependent, depending on where you are in the world, different websites on offer. But for the most part, the number one place that I would recommend for buying your Bitcoin or buying your Ethereum with the pounds, dollars, euros, whatever currency is in your bank account, the fiat on board, people call it, I'm still going to go with a website called Coinbase, coinbase.com. And if you look around, if you search about them, there'll be a lot of kind of bad press. Yes, they've made questionable acquisitions of companies. They've perhaps listed certain coins that they shouldn't have done. But overall, I would say that still, in the year 2019, Coinbase offers the most simple, convenient, relatively safe and secure way to possibly buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with your fiat cash right now. They have a very user-friendly interface. You don't have to be some kind of tech wizard to get started. It's just a matter, usually once you've kind of registered, set up your identity, it's simply a matter of kind of clicking a button a couple of times and you'll have done it, right? So that's very simple. It's very, very heavy regulated because it's such a well-known brand and such an enormous kind of website, enormous company in the space. Governments, regulators will watch it like a hawk, and so in my mind, they're very much less likely to get involved with certain mischief, which other websites, other exchanges out there, I don't think they're as likely to get into that kind of mischief. And so that's why I feel much more comfortable recommending people to buy and sell their coins through Coinbase than all other websites as of right now in 2019. After browsing that website, you might think, hang on, Lewis, I can see kind of Bitcoin, Ethereum, a couple others listed here. Where do I buy all these altcoins? Where do I apparently get to chase these 10x, 100x gains? For that, you're typically going to have to go to another kind of exchange that doesn't necessarily deal with fiat onboarding. They're typically exchanges that you buy altcoins with using your Bitcoin. So you buy Bitcoin in one place, such as Coinbase, you send it to this particular website where you exchange your Bitcoin for whichever other altcoin that you want. And I've been saying this since 2017, the situation still hasn't really gotten that much better since then. You still can't necessarily trust any of these websites at all. You absolutely cannot trust them to not, exit scam at any given moment. And you absolutely cannot trust these companies, these websites, with your keys, with your coins. There's a well-known expression in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. And so whenever you have your money stored on an exchange, they're in control of that. It's not essentially your money until you take it out and store it safely elsewhere, somewhere where you have full control. And so there's not one single website that would absolutely recommend. If you want to go for the biggest, most popular website exchange used that has the most liquidity, then most people would probably say a website called Binance. Binance.com is the best place to go for that. But even they don't necessarily list all the coins that you might be interested in. And so I would recommend you go on a website called coinmarketcap.com, search for whichever cryptocurrency it is that you happen to be interested in. And if you hit the market section, they will give you a list of websites that has the most liquidity for you to buy and sell in a convenient manner. Although, quick disclaimer there, quick note, many of these websites kind of fabricate and make false claims about their liquidity. So that's something to look out for as well. But typically, all things being said and done, if you had to put a gun to my head, I'd probably just say Binance, but absolutely do not keep your funds on there. You want to treat your exchanges like a public toilet, like a public bathroom. You go in, do your business, and get out as quickly as possible. Nobody wants to linger around in a public toilet. You don't want to linger around and keep your money lying on an exchange. You want to kind of store that somewhere else where you fully control that money. And then final part of this section of buying and selling cryptocurrencies, that kind of stuff. If you're brand new to crypto and if you're brand new to trading and you ask me where's the best place for leverage trading where you can 10x, 100x along certain cryptocurrencies, I'm going to just straight up tell you to avoid it full stop. I'm not going to guide you to another website. I'm just going to say you should absolutely not be doing this. You will get all of your money taken from you. You will get slaughtered. Do not go to websites like BitMEX or whatever else until you're, I just don't think most people should be there at all unless you're a professional or semi-professional trader. Just stay away. Historically, not financial advice, no guarantees, but typically buying and holding for several years has proven to be an exceptionally profitable move to make. and there's simply no need to add additional risk to that with highly leveraged trading. So we've covered how to buy cryptocurrencies, how to buy the main ones, both with kind of fiat onboarding websites and with strictly altcoin exchanges like Binance and such. Now we need to look at the matter of storage, right? Because as I said in the previous section, you don't want to be keeping your money on these exchanges. There's a very long history of many of these exchanges getting hacked or the founders exit scamming at a moment's notice where you have essentially lost all your money in one go. And so you need to be able to find a way to safely and securely store these cryptocurrencies yourself in a way that you have absolute full 100% control over those funds and where nobody else in the entire world can access them unless you give very specific permission to do that. And there are a gazillion different ways in which you can secure your cryptocurrencies, or all these different companies that will advertise to you a safe and secure way to store your funds. But 99% of these are either going to be incredibly insecure or incredibly complex, or worst of all, and quite often you see this, it's actually a mixture of both. It's highly complex methods which actually aren't even that secure either, and so it's kind of maximum ways for you to lose your funds there. I'm just going to say for that absolutely anyone, for 99% of people, let's just say, using something called a hardware wallet, which is a physical device, will be the best and safest way to store your funds. And there are several brands that do this, but for myself, I typically have experience with the top two most popular of these devices, which are the Ledger Nano S and the Trezor hardware wallets. I'm not going to go into this video how to use them, but yeah, just get one of these devices. Please do not skimp, don't be tight. I don't care. If you have a non-significant amount of money that you would not be, if it would annoy you to have X amount stolen or to have X amount lost, just invest in a hardware wallet. They're typically around, I don't know, $50 to $100 thereabouts, depending on newer, older models. Do not skimp on this. Don't be tight. Just please, trust me, you won't regret it. Get yourself a hardware wallet. Between these two things now, you'll know where to buy and to sell your cryptocurrencies, and you'll know where to store them, right? Typically, you buy it on an exchange, and then you just want to send that money to your hardware wallet, especially if you're a long-term investor and you're staying away from the trading game, which I would highly recommend. So now we need to look at the matter of education, right? Where do you go? What kind of resources do you go to gain a better understanding about this space, both from a kind of technological level and as a matter of investing as well? And you don't want to skimp out on education either. You don't want to just not spend the time, because it'll do two things the more you educate yourself. Number one, you'll make better investing decisions, you'll make more money typically, which is great, or you'll avoid losing a bunch of money in projects that will go to zero. And even more importantly, you'll be less susceptible to scams. The better understanding that you have of the tech, you'll be able to look at a project, you'll be able to look at something called an ICO, some kind of company which will be shilling its coins to you, saying, hey, please buy my coins. You'll have a much better idea of which ones are con artists essentially and which ones are absolutely destined to fail. And so I'm just going to give you a very small number of resources for you to check out for yourself. But the number one, the single most valuable and important resource that I would guide anyone towards is a YouTube channel by someone called Andreas Antonopoulos. His channel is called Antonop. He is the closest thing that you'll get in this space to an absolutely neutral expert, and he is the best speaker in the whole of crypto, bar none. Just go back and watch. He has probably hundreds of hours of content on his channel, and every single second of that is worth doing. It really is. And he's the guy who got me into crypto as well, so I'm eternally grateful. But I'd recommend absolutely anyone go out and check out his content, check out his speeches and his Q&As, and he will answer any and all kind of possible questions you could have. And if you don't want to do that, if you just want, hey, point me to one specific video or whatever, I would recommend either his appearances on the Joe Rogan podcast or on the London Reel, which are both available on YouTube. After that, if you want another kind of free resource, which is very useful, on my website, I have a resources page, and this will guide you towards what I recommend, all the kind of best resources out there in terms of podcasts to follow, Twitter accounts to follow, the YouTube accounts, and as I've already mentioned, the kind of exchanges where to buy cryptocurrencies and where to store them. It's all there. That one page alone is pretty much all you need for access to all other kinds of resources out there. I think that's a very good signpost for you to follow, completely free to access, and so I will leave a link down below for you to click onto that. It's lewisthomas.co.uk/resources, so check that out as well. If you're looking for a paid option, I do have my own course, the Buying Bitcoin Crash course, and this is essentially a video course that will explain how to do all of these things that I've mentioned, how to set up a Coinbase account from scratch and kind of go through it step-by-step process, how to store funds on a hardware wallet, how to kind of send and receive cryptocurrency payments, how to set up your kind of your seed phrase, your recovery phrases, how to buy altcoins on an exchange. All of these things I will guide you kind of through step by step, and I think this is very useful, especially those who are not so technologically minded, perhaps a little bit older. If you'd rather just give a little bit of money to have this all explained to you in a very easy, simplistic manner, then I think this would be well worth your money. Of course, you don't need to do this. You can spend hours going through Google, finding out how to do these things as well. But if you just want it all packaged in a very kind of clear, easy manner and just, X, Y, Z, do this and that, and you're done, then I would absolutely recommend to do that. And I'll have a link to that down below as well. And then just finally, as a nice little kind of extra, something to recommend as well, if you want to perhaps build a career out of this potentially, if you want to enhance your skill set even more outside of the just strictly investing space, I would recommend something called the Ivan on Tech Academy as well, which will teach you how to code and how to eventually get into smart contract programming and building stuff in the crypto space. This is set up by Ivan on Tech, a fellow content creator, someone who makes fantastic content, and he will give you the skills and the guidance that you need to potentially get a job out of this as well. A job which typically is very, very well paid, very, very lucrative, because there's such a shortage of these skills on offer that employers have, and there's insatiable demand for those. So you get to kind of command excellent wages. And so I think now you have all of the kind of absolute most critical resources that you need to get started with cryptocurrencies. We've gone through where to buy and sell them, where to get hold of altcoins if you really want to, even if it is a very high risk endeavor, it's up to you. We've also gone through how to safely store your cryptocurrencies, what devices to get hold of in order to do that in a safe, secure manner. Hardware wallets, typically Ledger Nano S or the Trezor. And we've gone through what I consider to be some of the best educational resources for you to build your understanding about this. And that's that. In this video, I'm not going to offer you any specific insights into which coins to invest in, which one I think will deliver you a 10, 100x gain, because the one lesson you'll learn in this is that everyone is going to have an opinion about this. It's usually related to what kind of bags they're holding. If they have an investment in a project, they're going to want to get you involved in it as well to kind of pump up the value. Ultimately, this is something for you to figure out yourself with your research. There'll be a million different resources that'll tell you X is the real Bitcoin and Y is going to have all the involvement of the banks and is going to take over the world. All these different things, you're going to have to learn how to differentiate between the legitimate and the scams. And I promise you, it's not always so clear. So it's something you're going to have to do yourself, which is why education is so important. You just need to come to your own decisions after doing ample amounts of research. And that's that. That's done. With everything that I've featured in this video and in kind of links that I've featured as well, you have all you need to get started with cryptocurrencies. All you have to do now is just kind of do the work. So that's that. Let me know what you think about this video, if you found it helpful, if there are any other kind of pointers or resources that you would like to be pointed towards. If any other people watching this have any other kind of resources that they'd recommend to newer people getting involved, please let it be known in the comment section down below. But otherwise, yeah, I've given you all the resources you need. You need to just go and kind of do the work and do the research and figure these things out for yourself. So I'll leave it there. Thank you. Comments, opinions, like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Cheers.